This channel was initially started as a Dead by Daylight channel, something where I could put some of the highlights of some of the matches or just full-length matches, depending on what I wanted to do that day. And the problem was that once I started trying to record videos for content, aside from just other issues of me learning a new program to edit videos, because my old program was outdated and they don't make it anymore apparently, go figure. But not only did I have that in the way to help me lose motivation, but every match I was trying to record, I had issues with just trying to get a match going. And for example, one time I was just trying to play a Springtrap match, and I was just trying to have fun with it. And I had 3 matches in a row where it was nothing but sweaty survivors the entire time. Just their intention is just to cause hell against the killers. And it's like, I don't necessarily play, or I didn't play, sweaty as a killer, but I started to because I just stopped caring. I came from the time that DBD first started, and I played at the time, and there was that survivor rule book, and it was an actual community where people got to play. I played at a time when the killer was the host before they had dedicated servers. So as the killer, you just don't slug, you don't face camp, things like that. When those things actually didn't have counters to them, like how we have the hook timer now, things like that. And so basically what it was is I got to a point where I guess survivors have just gotten so entitled. Survivor is easy as hell. In this match that I have running in the background, you will see that I'm not very good with Survivor. I never have been. I've always been a killer main. It's not that I never played Survivor, but I'm running this because I did want to get adept for everybody. I did it with all the killers a week or 2 ago, and then I had to start with the survivors, and I hadn't done that a lot, so I had to go back. And since I started doing this project, I've only got 2 survivor adepts, but the killer ones, I did like 15 of them within a matter of a couple weeks. Now we have 2v8 out. 2v8, as everybody knows, if you don't like 2v8, the queue times are dog shit. And it always is for killer on 2v8, but it also affects killer queue in just normal 1v4. And the only reason why in this match I'm only playing survivor is because, one thing I will give behavior credit for is implementing the play while you wait feature. So I was doing that, and for some reason I just decided I'm going to be a Freddy main because I enjoyed playing Freddy. I'm not opposed to playing the top tier killers, but that's not something I really wanted to main with. When I first started, I was a nurse main, so that's why I at least know the counters, but I don't play against nurse often enough to really do well against the nurse. So if you've seen this match, that's the only reason why I kind of know what the counters are, even though I'm not very good at dodging it because I don't play Survivor. I'm just going to be honest. I don't play Survivor enough to really be that skilled, just enough to not be a moron. Even though you might see me do stupid things, but it's things I don't really think about because I don't play the other side often. But with that being said, is that the behavior has been trying to make the game easier for people like me for some reason. And yet, for one reason or another, it seems to be harder for me. And I don't know why. And the only thing I can think of is that killers are getting sweatier, like I have been, because when you limit the options to what a killer can do, where you're trying to discourage face camping, you're trying to discourage with the proximity timer, trying to discourage slugging by all these different perks that prevent people from slugging. And then on top of all these other things, it's like, yeah, it's gotten to a point where slugging is the way to win as killer, because trying to hook survivors is a nightmare. And it's gotten to a point where I seemed like, against the sweatiest of survivors, the ones who know what they're doing, the good one, skilled ones, I win more of those matches because I was slugging versus me trying to do hooks. Now, that does not mean I don't get 12 hooked matches, and I do. I have, and because a lot of times, like, if the survivors aren't being super sweats, I do try to let the survivor who's dead on hook leave if I can. If they're being completely moronic, well, that's not my fault. Or if I'm close to losing because I was playing nice, well, sorry. You know, it's just how it goes. When you're down to 1 or 2 generators, slugging, camping, everything like that is back on the table. That's kind of how I see it. But the problem is, it's gotten to a point where this game has become so incessantly frustrating that I'm done with the damn game. There's nothing fun about it anymore. The games that I used to have that were fun are not fun. This match I have in the background with Bill, this is probably my 10th attempt on trying to get Bill's adept. And it's always where it's so close to escaping, somehow the killer fucking snowballs or just tunnels me out. You know, and that's basically what's going on here, is it becomes a snowball, and literally the only way I knew I was going to get out is if the other person died. I was not the last survivor. Well, no, I was the last survivor, but she went for the 4K, you know, so it's kind of one of those things. And so technically the last survivor was slugged and then went for me, is what I was trying to get at. But, you know, and this one kind of pissed me off the most too, because like I spent all this time on hook and then going to stage 2 on my first hook, and I just said, I don't care, I want all this match. But, you know, that's when people save, is when you're done with the game and you just want out. You know, not when you're ready to continue playing. But I don't know. I think that's just it. I think I'm just tired. You know, and I just spent money for cosmetics and on the new Rift, and it's just, instead of doing the sunk cost fallacy, I just said, hell with it, I'm uninstalling this damn game. So that way, I had to think about it before I just launched the game again. I have to reinstall this damn game. And I loved this game. I've been trying to find something so I could make some content, and it's just, my heart's not in it anymore, and I wanted this game to succeed so much, but it's, I guess, corporatism, some sort of corporatism, where it's more about how much money we can make versus how much fun can players have with this game. This whole year that they've had of trying to make the game better has made the game worse. There are certain things that they have done that are great, which I will continue to applaud them for, but at the same rate, though, is, although certain things were focused on that have made the game better, they were focusing on the wrong things, so that way the things that people have been begging for, things that people want done, things that people wish could have happened to at least try to make this game better, didn't happen. You know, the things like, I don't know. Basically, I think it's mainly because I'm a killer main. I notice all the flaws on that. Is that it just gets more and more frustrating when you want to play a low tier killer. Now, if I wanted to, the reason why I don't want to play like Blight Nurse and Billy, you know, things like that, is because I don't have heart issues, but you know, I am an older guy. I am in my 40s. I enjoy the game, but my blood boils more than it should. That could be part of medication that I have to take now. But yeah, it's just, when you're sitting there and even in this match, just because this is why I don't like playing Survivor. I get anxious because I don't know how it's done and things like that. So I actually do get a little anxiety playing this. So my heart rate actually does increase to a point where I have an Apple Watch that tells me, hey, you're sitting. Why is your heart rate so high? And I'm just playing a damn game. But as killer, I get angry when I watch a whiff when the strike connected. And I don't know. Sometimes it's just like you see things that aren't there because you've already gotten pissed off. The Freddy match that I had recorded, I literally did not hook anybody because as soon as I was able to hook somebody, it was, I think, right as the last generator popped. I was finally able to get somebody downed. And there was a Bill over there by the hook, sabotaging it, of course, as one does. And I hit him somehow. It was a whiff, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was already pissed off at that point, because I had already, in my head, I had already downed every fucking Survivor, but yet somehow every single down missed. And I play Freddy and I do use the pallets and I do abuse them, and either they knew that and they knew how to play against Freddy and I never had a chance to really use my pallet ruptures, or maybe I just need to do it different. Well, that's assuming I was going to play, but yeah, it's just, man, I need to do it different. But the thing is, it's like, I understand that there's a point, but the problem is that the game is so unbalanced that I can play against the sweaty survivors, never get a single down, or when I did get a down, it didn't matter because I couldn't hook the survivor and they were all getting out. And then the next game, I'm prepared, I'm ready to sweat hard as hell, and then I'm against, and then I've just basically become a noob stomper at that point. So it wasn't fun because I was out of my league, and then I'm not having fun because I just stomped a whole bunch of people who had no chance against me. That's kind of where I'm at. It's just, even when I'm rewatching this match too, as I'm recording this, I'm just looking and it's like, I do want to get back in the game. And that's the problem, is I love this game, but I feel like the devs have done everything they can to take all that passion away. And I understand some games get old, some games need a refresh, but I feel like the refreshes or the things that they change on the game devastates it so much that, slight changes is like, and they just had an engine update, which I used to play in full screen mode, and I can't even alt tab out of the game without the game crashing. When I changed the screen resolution to windowed, the game crashed while doing that. So once I finally got over all that, I'm still left with a dog shit game. That changed so much that it I'm throwing this off the cuff because it's like, I want to enjoy the game. I love the game, but it's just, I don't know, and I'm trying to find another game that I can just sink a lot of time into. I mean, the game was called, or my channel was called Macabre Mastermind at first. I changed it to Macabre Trucker because I was going to do trucking games because, I don't know, I didn't like the term mastermind in there, I guess. But, I don't know what kind of horror games to do on here. I can go back and do retro horror, something like that, like Castlevania or things like that. Resident Evil, I don't know. it's just it's hard. I wanted to enjoy it, and you know, they ruined it. They made the game not enjoyable. I don't know how else to put it. I just wish it was more fun these days, and you know, it could just be me getting tired of it too. I mean, benefit of the doubt, but at the end of the day, does it really matter if you're not having fun? Well, who knows? You know, fuck me. Maybe this will be my last Dead by Daylight video. I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, it's like I said, I do love the game, but it's hard to enjoy a game when the game does everything it can to make you hate it. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't know. I don't even bother subscribing to the channel. I'm probably not going to do anything. I have no idea. But yeah. If you made it this far, thanks for watching.